What is going on, Washington fans? What's good, Washington fans? Good to see you guys. John Elliott, what's up, man? What's going on? DT21, what's going on? He said we're interviewing other GM candidates. Kyle Smith probably going, shaking my head. I did see that. I did see we are interviewing some guys. I forgot their names. One guy, of course, did work with Ron Rivera in Carolina. Another guy is a Titans vice president. So they both have really good track records. So, I'm not going to dismiss these guys. I'm not going to dismiss the other Panthers guy just because he was from Carolina. But, I would love to promote Kyle Smith. You know how I feel about it. I'm tired of seeing our young talent leave, like Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur. Even though Kyle Shanahan didn't want to be here, him leaving. So many, Sean McVay. So much young talent has left the building. So I really don't want to see Kyle Smith leave. Or, he might he might stay in the role that he is, and we still bring in a GM. But personally, I would like to see Kyle Smith be promoted to general manager. But we don't know what happens behind closed doors. We don't know how well Ron Rivera and Kyle Smith get along. We don't know their relationship. So, Ron, he just likes being comfortable just like everybody else does. And I don't know if it's going to be Marty Herney or the other two guys that they just interviewed. So we'll see what happens with the general manager position. But once again, I do trust in Ron Rivera. So I hope he makes the right decision with that one. John Elliott, what's going on, man? If our receivers actually caught the ball and they didn't rob Apke of that punt recovery, we would have won. Yeah, so many things happened Saturday night, but I'm still proud of the team. I'm still happy with winning the NFC East. I'm not content. We still got a long way to go. We got a lot of potential. We got a lot of young pieces. We got a lot of young guys on good rookie team-friendly rookie deals, rookie contracts. Our best players are rookies or second-year guys or third-year guys. All of our best players are young. So that's the great thing about this team. The future is bright. The refs did work us. I don't want to get too much into the refs, but it is what it is. I already talked about that in my reaction video. But hey, I mean, we got to sign a receiver. Honestly, wide receiver is at the top. It's quarterback is the top of the list. But after quarterback, it really, in my opinion, is wide receiver. We need another receiver opposite of Terry McLaurin. We need some guys that we can rely on to catch the football. We're throwing the guys, and it's 50-50. We don't know if they're going to come down with the catch. I want somebody who we know is going to come down with the football. Terry McLaurin, we know 100%. Cam Sims, we just don't know. Sometimes he'll catch it, sometimes he'll drop. Steve Sims, just can't rely on the guy anymore. Has so much talent in the world, but just not reliable. Cam Sims has a lot of talent too. We will be getting Kelvin Harmon back. AGG was on IR. And he'll be back next year, so we'll see what we can do with him. I'm hoping the best for him when he comes back. I hope he can stay healthy next year. So the three-time Super Bowl champ Skins, he won't be going anytime soon. He just won't be the GM of the future. Yeah, so we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with Kyle Smith. He probably will be here. Michael Weinstein says Sean Dion Hamilton got the Fabian Moreau treatment. Yeah, he did. He did get released. If you guys didn't know, Sean Dion Hamilton was released yesterday. We did sign Jeff Badette, the young wide receiver, to a future contract. We signed another offensive lineman to a future reserve contract as well. So Carlton Sherry Jr., did you hear the Kevin Sheehan podcast today? Film breakdown of the offense. The blockers was missing blocks on rundowns. We didn't have no run game because of missed assignments. What did you think? Honestly, I liked our offensive line this year. Now they did miss some blocks here and there, of course, but Tampa Bay's run defense is legit. Antonio Gibson wasn't 100%. You could just see it. His facial expressions, he looked like he was hurt. He wasn't running 100% like he was healthy. So, I mean, I got to give credit to Tampa Bay's defense. Their defense is legit. They are the number one ranked run defense. So I'm not just going to blame the offensive lineman. I do have to look at the film back from that game. But, yeah, they might have missed some blocks. Honestly, I didn't like the play calling with running up the gut every time. When you see – they have Ndamukong Suh. I thought we should have did some more outside runs. And when we did do outside runs against Tampa Bay, they actually did work. Gibson ran outside for a first down. I think J.D. McKissick ran outside for a first down. I think we did a reverse play to Steven Sims, and that even got us 5 yards. That was better than a lot of the plays that we ran up the gut for, -2 yards or no yards at all. So I wasn't really mad at the offensive line blocking in the Tampa Bay game. I thought they did a decent job. Tampa Bay, they blitz the most in the league. Todd Bowles, that's all he wants to do is blitz. And I thought we did a pretty decent job against their blitz. Or Taylor Heinicke did a great job being elusive in the pocket, ducking his head like he was a boxer, and get out of the pocket and getting, running 10 yards for a first down, running 15 yards for a first down. and doing that Superman dive that he did for a touchdown. So I wasn't mad at the offensive line. I guess if I had to give him a grade, maybe a B or B minus, honestly. But like I said, I got to look more of the game film. I haven't really watched the replay of the game or anything like that. Big boy diehard fan Walker. Shout out to him. He's a channel member. He says, keep it real, Ed Oliver. Yes, sir. You already know. King Sean 32, what's going on, man? Gabriel Thompson, he said, I heard some people say that Deshaun Watson wanting a trade, that he could go to Washington. But do you think that Washington would be interested in Deshaun Watson, or will they keep Heinicke? I do want to talk about Taylor Heinicke. I was impressed. I do want to talk about Taylor. You already know what the title is. I do want to talk about Taylor Heinicke. You know, I might be lit off the Heinicke, man. He was awesome Saturday night. He was awesome. I mean, I give him an A+ grade, honestly. I think the only bad play he really had was the overthrow to Logan Thomas that could have been picked off, but the guy dropped it. Thank goodness. But Taylor, he was awesome. And he was good in the Panthers game too. You know, everybody's like, oh, you know, it was soft coverage in the Panthers game. But he plays against a legitimate Bucs defense that blitz all the time. They were coming for that. They were bringing the heat. They was dialing up the pressure, dialing up the blitz. And Heinicke did an awesome job evading the pressure, finding guys downfield, throwing with anticipation, throwing guys open, looking downfield, not checking it down, but going through his progressions and everything. Taylor Heinicke, he did a heck of a job. That was the best quarterback play by far this season. He was better than Alex. He was better than Kyle Allen. Yes, he was better than Dwayne Haskins. I mean, it's not hard to be that, but he played his butt off. He looked good, man. He looked good. I can't fake. Joseph Sayers, what's going on, man? What's up, man? JB Hardy, he's a channel member. Shout out to him. He says, what's up, guys? What's going on? Let's see here. I see some donations here. I'm going to get to them before they fade away. Patrick West, what's going on, man? Shout out to him. Shout out to Patrick. That's my guy. Extra Squad, what's going on? Thank you for the first donation of the night. He says, we need 2 wide receivers. Love Steven Sims, but he's too unreliable. We need to sign Allen Robinson and draft a young wide receiver in round 2 or round 3. Yeah, honestly, I'm with you, man. I don't know about drafting a wide receiver in round 2 or 3. Even though rounds 3 we've been good with drafting guys. But Allen Robinson would be great. If you don't get Allen Robinson, there's Curtis Samuel. Chris Godwin is a free agent. I don't know if we're going to be able to get him. Kenny Galladay is a free agent. Marvin Jones Jr. is a free agent. Will Fuller is a free agent. There's a lot of guys on the free agent list. Antonio Brown is a free agent, believe it or not. But I don't think Antonio Brown is going to leave the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he certainly cut us up 2 nights ago. So honestly, I was against signing Antonio Brown, but honestly, I'm starting to get desperate with the wide receiver position. I'm hoping that Jalen Waddle does drop to 19. He did have that foot injury, and you know how we've gotten lucky with injuries, with guys dropping. Jonathan Allen had an injury or a diagnosis, and he dropped. Montez Sweat had an injury or the heart thing, and he dropped to 26, and we got lucky we got him. So I'm praying that Jalen Waddle some way, somehow drops to 19. I don't think it will happen, but if he's there, he's available at 19, you got to take him. You got to get Jalen Waddle, honestly. The other guys like DeVonta Smith, he's a top 5 pick. Jamar Chase is a top 5, top 10 pick. So you're not going to get those guys. So if you don't get those 2 in the draft, Jalen Waddle's the guy, and hopefully he drops to 19. But Allen Robinson, yeah, he's the first option. You're going to have to pay him a bag. I like our cap space, though. I'm going to make a video soon about the cap space. Right now, we have about $42 million available in cap space. We are a top 5 team in available cap space. I'm going to talk about that later. Alex Smith, you know, if we do cut him, we do free up about $15 million in cap space. I think I was actually looking at that. Yeah, if we cut him, we free up about $15 million in cap space if we cut Alex Smith. Or I don't know how much we're going to save if he retires, but we do save $15 million if Alex Smith is released, and it's going to be a $9 million cap hit. Ryan Kerrigan, $11.5 million on the books. He'll be going. I don't know if we're going to bring him back or not, but it's going to be a cheaper option. But we definitely can bring in some big name free agents, not just big name free agents, but free agents that are reliable, an established receiver like an Allen Robinson or a Curtis Samuel or a Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones Jr. One of those guys help. We need a reliable receiver badly. We need one badly. Chris Kreider, thank you for the donation. He says, appreciate your commentaries, man. Tough L, but I agree that the future is looking brighter than anything we've seen recently. Onward. Hashtag HTTFT, hail to the football team. Yes, sir. The future's bright, man. Like I said, all our young guys are all our best players on rookie deals. Cameron Curl, 7th-round pick on a cheap deal. Terry McLaurin still on a rookie contract. John Allen on a rookie contract. Deron Payne, Matt Ioannidis re-signed him, but it's still a good deal. It's not like a big deal, honestly. He's on a good deal. Chase Young, of course, on a rookie deal. Montez Sweat on a rookie deal. So all of our best players on rookie contracts, honestly. Antonio Gibson on a rookie deal. So all of our best players, we got to take advantage of right now with all these great players on these young deals. We have to take advantage of it. So we got to find our quarterback. We got to find somebody to help Terry McLaurin. On the other side, Logan Thomas, one of our better players, on a cheap deal. Like, who knew Logan Thomas was going to play as good as he has? I mean, he should have been in the Pro Bowl, 70 catches. I forgot how many yards, like 6 or 7 touchdowns. The man was unbelievable. J.D. McKissick was great this year, too, on a team-friendly deal, prove-it deal. I think he's on a 2-year deal. Ronald Darby, I think we should bring him back. Even Kendall Fuller's deal is not that bad. So, honestly, I like where we're at. We just have to find a quarterback, which is the most important position in all of sports. You can argue that. And we got to get it right. We got to get it right this offseason. We got to get it right. And it could be somebody already in this room, honestly. It really could be. It could be. You know, I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I like what I saw on Saturday night. I love what I saw on Saturday night. Big Simple 422, shout out to him. He's a channel member. Make sure you guys sub him up. He is a Washington football team. He is a Washington football team YouTuber. Says, we lit. HTTR. Yes, sir. You already know. Hey, we lit. What's going on, man? Rashard Collins says, Oscar Oswald Montel, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? What's up, man? Shout out to him. He's a channel member as well. And make sure you guys check him out. He's a Washington football YouTuber as well. He's an elite channel member. Me says, what's up, man? Off-season champs time. You already know what it is, man. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. All season videos coming, man. Also, got to do mock drafts, got to do free agency videos. You already know what it is. On the Warpath, shout out to him. Make sure you guys sub him up. He is a Washington football YouTuber as well. He says, hell to the team, bro. Gotta nail that quarterback position. Taylor is a brief delight, can lead to a lasting shame. We need a long-term solution. Shout out to him. So, yeah, about that. Honestly, I like what I saw, man. I like what I saw. And honestly, I think we should give the young man a chance, honestly, because not every quarterback, sometimes you find your quarterback in an unorthodox way. Sometimes you accidentally find your franchise quarterback. I don't know if he is the guy, but I think he has the tools and I think he has the potential, honestly. What is he, 27 years old? He knows the system with Scott Turner. The guy is super fast, super elusive, doesn't have the biggest arm, but he throws guys wide open. He has anticipation. The touchdown pass to Steven Sims where you saw the camera zoom in on Tom Brady, he says, unbelievable. He couldn't believe it. That was a heck of a pass. And imagine if the receivers caught the football, 4 or 5 drops. The guy had 300 passing yards, 46 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown. And he got hurt, came back out there and played well. He had the best Pro Football Focus grade for a Washington quarterback in the last 14 years. Last 14 years for Pro Football Focus, for what it's worth. The guy had high ratings. He had a better rating than Tom Brady. And like I said, the Bucs defense isn't trash. Now, they do give up passing yards because they blitz all the time. But Taylor stood in there, man. He stood in there like a boss, took some hits, evaded the pocket, and led some big drives, man. Every drive was a good drive, honestly. I don't remember one bad drive from Taylor Heineke except for maybe that 1 interception that he almost threw. And the 1 pick he threw, it got tipped. He played well. In the Panthers game, he played well. So I do want to see more of a sample size. If there is a preseason next year, I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see him compete with anybody who comes in here. Now, look, if we do bring in Dak, I'd rather have Dak Prescott than Taylor Heineke, of course. I'd rather take him. I'd rather take Matt Stafford over Taylor Heineke because those are more proven quarterbacks. You know what you're going to get with those guys. You know we're going to be at least 9-7 if we get Matt Stafford, or at least be 9-7 if you get Dak. But who knows if that's really realistic? Dallas might want to re-sign Dak Prescott, or the Lions might want 2 first-round picks for Matt Stafford, which is not realistic, but they might play a hardball like that. So it could be somebody in the room, man. It could be somebody in the room. Taylor Heineke looked good, man. He looked really good. He was throwing guys wide open. He had anticipation, precision passing, was good reading, went through his progressions. And, we were not throwing the ball downfield all year until he got into the ball game. With Alex, he is what it is. He wins ball games, but he doesn't throw the ball downfield. And Taylor Heineke, the offense looked night and day. It looked really different with Heineke in there. He's throwing the ball downfield, man. He was getting it done. Shout out to Schmo for the donation. He says, I have a feeling Tyrod Taylor is on the Washington football board. I would pass on Tyrod. I know he went to Virginia Tech, so I like Tyrod Taylor a lot. But, I mean, he's just the ultimate stopgap quarterback. Everywhere he goes, he gets replaced. Baker Mayfield replaced him. Went to the Chargers and got replaced by Justin Herbert. He has a little bit of an injury history as well. You know, the punctured lung. That's a concern. I think he's fine now. But, you know, even with the Browns, he got hurt. They put Baker Mayfield in the game, and he never got back in for the rest of the year. Baker Mayfield just took the job and ran with it. So I would pass on Tyrod. Some people talk about Teddy Bridgewater. I would pass on Teddy Bridgewater. I'd rather trade for Stafford or possibly sign Dak. I don't think Deshaun Watson is realistic. I don't think the Texans are really going to trade him. Bill O'Brien is gone. Maybe if he was still there, maybe that could happen. But I don't see that happening. But I wouldn't go after Tyrod. Now Tyrod's a good game manager. Doesn't really turn the ball over. Is a good bridge stopgap quarterback. But honestly, I wouldn't do that. I'd rather just stay with either Kyle Allen and draft maybe Trey Lance or somebody like that because you know, Justin Fields is not going to drop to 19 and Zach Wilson's not going to drop to 19. So realistically, maybe Trey Lance might drop to 19. But it's a lot of options at quarterback. But I wouldn't take Tyrod. I wouldn't take Tyrod right now. But I like him. He's mobile. He can run. Like I said, former Virginia Tech quarterback. He's been there, done that. Experienced quarterback. So I wouldn't take Tyrod. Down south, Virginia and North Carolina. What's up, man? What's going on, man? What's up, man? Yak Dog, what's going on? He said, yeah, but we got to sign our guys. Matty Ice and Deron Payne. Yeah, Matty Ice is coming back. I can't wait to see Matty Ice come back. This defensive line is going to be nastier than what he is with Matt Ioannidis back there. Alex Coy, what's going on, man? Steven Montez. Oh, Steven Montez is in the chat, man. What's up, Steven Montez? You almost had to play Saturday. You almost got some playing time, man. I was hoping. Actually, no, I don't know. I can't say I was hoping for you to play, but you almost played on Saturday. You really did. You almost played. Who do you think we should take in the draft for the quarterback position? Really like Trey Lance and think he's going to be special, but needs a lot of time. Yeah, I mean, like I said about Trey Lance, you know, he's a developmental quarterback. He threw 28 touchdowns and no picks in the 2019 season. He ran for 1,000 yards, had 14 rushing touchdowns. I mean, the guy is a freak of nature. I think he's like 6'4", 226 pounds out of North Dakota State. I wish he could have played this year to get some more experience, but he's definitely more of a developmental quarterback. So honestly, you know, if we draft him at 19, which Todd McShay does have him at 19 in the mock draft to go to Washington, I wouldn't be mad at that. You know, he can sit behind Kyle Allen, he can sit behind Taylor Heinicke or whoever else we bring in. You know, I don't know if we want to bring in a Ryan Fitzpatrick for a year or something like that, but Trey Lance, I would like him to sit maybe like 1 year or 2 years. Develop, hold a clipboard, learn Scott Turner's offense. You know, get some more time learning the game, learn the NFL game, and then you can throw the young man out there. But he's mobile. You know, Ron Rivera really wants a mobile quarterback. He wants a quarterback that can run. So Trey Lance, I think he would be good in DC. Now his accuracy, he has to work on that, but that's on the coaching. You know, it's time for us. You know, we're not really good at developing quarterbacks. We never really developed a first-round pick. Maybe that could change with Trey Lance. You know, if he could sit a year behind Taylor Heinicke or behind Kyle Allen and learn the playbook and, you know, work on his accuracy, you know, he can run. He can really run. Some people compare – somebody said Cam Newton. Yard breezy. I would not take Cam Newton. I would not take Cam Newton at all. I like Cam. I think he's had a heck of a career. Possibly could be a Hall of Famer, you know, former MVP, but I would not take Cam Newton at all. I would not take Cam Newton. He did not look good with the Patriots. He struggled with the Patriots throwing the football. He's gotten a lot of injuries over the year. He had a bad shoulder injury. So, and Ron Rivera didn't even want him last year. If we were going to get Cam Newton, I think it would have been last year for a cheap deal. It would have been that 1 year, $1 million deal. And now he's going to want money now. So Adam Schefter had a report. I don't know if it's true or not. But he said Cam Newton for like 2 years, $20 million or something like that. Something crazy. I would not pay Cam Newton that amount of money, especially the way he played this past year. I could not pay him that. You know, I could not. He went 7-9 with the Patriots. Bill Belichick's worst season in a long time. It's not all Cam Newton's fault, but he's I'm not gonna say he's washed up, but that would not be ideal in DC. It would not be ideal in DC. I just don't think he has it throwing the football anymore. I just don't. I don't see it anymore. Chris Hunter, what's up, man? He's a channel member. He says, no more game managers. Hell to the Washington football team. Yeah, I feel that way too. I mean, like watching Taylor throw the football downfield, it shows, and I'm not the biggest Scott Turner fan, but it shows his offense. We can really move the football. We can have chunk plays. And that's what we struggle with. We didn't have chunk plays throwing the football down the field. That's just how Alex is. He's not going to throw the ball downfield. He's more of a check down quarterback, game manager, and winning games. He was 5-1 this year. So I can't hate on Alex. But everywhere Alex is, he gets replaced. Chiefs got replaced by Pat Mahomes. And look where the Chiefs are now. Got replaced by Colin Kaepernick. San Fran went to the Super Bowl. So honestly, every coach that has Alex, we appreciate what he's done. He's tougher than a $2 steak. He's came back from a lot of things. He is going to win comeback player of the year. But we definitely need somebody who's going to take some shots and move this offense downfield. Now we do need to get some more talent at the wide receiver position. But yeah, I would probably move on from Alex Smith. I would move on from Alex Smith this offseason. Sticky Ninja says, what would you be willing to trade for Deshaun Watson? I would trade a first-round pick, and some people say Matt Ioannidis. They said probably first round this year and Matt Ioannidis for Deshaun Watson. That's what I would do. They probably want more though. I'll probably do a first, a third, and Matt Ioannidis. That's probably not even enough. So I wouldn't do it anyway. It's just you just have to mortgage the future for this man. You have to mortgage your future for Deshaun Watson. I just don't know if I'm willing to do it. I don't know if I'm willing to do it. Soy Sauce, shout out to him. He's a channel member. He says, I pray we can get Allen Robinson. I do too, but honestly, if we don't get him, I'm not going to be mad. There's some other options out there. Like I said, Curtis Samuel, Will Fuller. There's a good amount of free agent wide receivers out there. Marvin Jones Jr., Kenny Galladay. This is a good class. I like Will Fuller too. There's a good class. This is a good wide receiver class. This is a decent free agent wide receiver class out there. So if we don't get Allen, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Alexander Wilson, thank you for the donation. He said, we're not good at developing first-round quarterbacks because Dan Snyder picked them. Hopefully he lets the football people do their jobs and not mess it up. Yeah, you're right about that, man. Jason Campbell, he had a lot of offensive coordinators, and he didn't work out. Dwayne Haskins obviously didn't work out. Patrick Ramsey didn't work out. Heath Schuler. The list goes on and on. So, honestly, that's why I like Heinicke too, man. Honestly, the way our best quarterbacks have been later round picks. Kirk Cousins was a third round pick, fourth round pick. And he was decent for a couple of years. RG3 could have worked out, but the knee injury and everything. We already know the story about RG3. But Heinicke, to make a case for Heinicke, you got a guy like Jeff Garcia who played in the Canadian Football League. He didn't start playing in the NFL until he got old, 27, 29. He made 4 Pro Bowls. Kurt Warner played in the Arena Football League, and look, he's a Hall of Famer. So just because a guy is not a first round pick or a second round pick, third round pick, doesn't mean that they can't be a great quarterback. Tony Romo, undrafted free agent, became a great quarterback or a decent quarterback. Didn't win playoff games. He won one playoff game, but he became a really, really good quarterback. So who knows? I mean, maybe Heinicke could be the guy. Maybe he could be. Like I said, he showed me a lot of things that not a lot of quarterbacks have done in DC. Honestly, he showed me a lot of things. He showed me a lot of toughness, a lot of grit, a lot of competitiveness. And he was very mobile, very elusive, very explosive. So I like what I saw. I don't know if he's the guy. We got to see more. But every time he's put on a Washington jersey, he's played well. The Panthers game, he played well. And Saturday night, he stepped up and played in a big-time game. And our defense was not helping us out. The run game did not help him either. This guy, he almost had to put the team on his back. He kind of did have to put the team on his back, honestly. Our defense gave up, 300, 400 yards passing almost. And we let Leonard Fournette run all over us. So it's not like our defense was really shutting the Bucs down at all. This man Heinicke was getting it done. And we did a terrible squib kick and gave Tom Brady a short field. And he scored immediately off that. So Taylor, he impressed me, man. I think we got to give this man a shot, man. We got to give this man a shot, in my opinion. Kenny Man Fitness. He said, shout out to him. He's an Elite Channel member. That's my guy. He was on the stream last week with me. We had a blast On the Warpath and DC Bay. We had a blast. He said, Taylor's nice, but it's only 5 quarters. I would take Cam. You talking about Cam Newton? Ron can get the best out of him and draft a Mike linebacker at 19. Like I said, I wouldn't take Cam Newton. From like I said, what I saw from him from the Patriots was very underwhelming. I thought he didn't really – he had 1 or 2 good games. He had 1 or 2 good games. He was more of a game manager, and he was turning the football over. He had a couple fumbles. he had a good amount of interceptions. He might have actually thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. So this was probably this was definitely Cam Newton's worst year as an NFL quarterback. Now I know him and Ron Rivera, they have the connection. Scott Turner, they're very familiar with each other, but I would not get Cam Newton. Honestly, I would not get Cam Newton. I like Cam a lot. I'm rooting for Cam Newton, but I wouldn't bring Cam Newton in. It would have to be a cheap deal as well. Like I said, Adam Schefter reported that it would be like 2 years, 20 mil or something like that. I wouldn't even do that, honestly. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. Actually, I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful to Cam Newton, but the way he played, and like I said, I don't want to get too. I know it was only 5 quarters from Tyrol Heineke, but like I said, he played in some big moments. The Buccaneers defense is no joke, and he played well. I'm not going to base our future off of 5 quarters, but I want to see more, man. Like I want to see more. I want to see more from Heineke. He looked good, man. Rufio, what's up, man? What's going on, man? Brian Harding, shout out to him. He's a channel member. He says Taylor Heineke needs to learn self-preservation. 17 weeks is a long season. Yeah, and I get that. A lot of people are like, oh, he's 6 feet tall. He's like, what, 190 pounds or 200 pounds? You know, look at Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is super small. How tall is he? Like 5'8", and he played a full season. Drew Brees is small. He's played full seasons. And there's bigger quarterbacks than him, like Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has been injured almost every year that he's played. And he's like, what, 3 times bigger than Taylor Heineke? Daniel Jones got hurt. He missed a couple games. He's, what, 2 times bigger than Heineke? Dak Prescott got injured. He's, what, 2 times, 3 times bigger than Taylor Heineke? So sometimes I don't really – Heineke is a small guy. I get that. You know, we saw Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy could never last, a full season at all. And he was a backup. He could never last 8 games. So I do get that. I do understand that. He's a smaller guy. He's going to take a lot of hits. And the way he runs, he does have to learn to protect himself. He slid a couple times. And Antoine Whitfield did hit him that one time. That could have been a flag. It could have been a flag. But I think he did a pretty good job of protecting himself. The one guy went up the middle and just slammed him to the ground. So he is a smaller guy. It is a concern. Next year is going to be 17 games, or for the rest of the NFL, the season is 17 games now and not 16 games. So it is a question mark. But I think he's good enough to last 17 games, honestly. I really do. I think he's good enough or strong enough to last 17 games. He does have to get in the weight room. He does have to get in the weight room. He said Gus Frerotte was good till he hit the wall. Yeah, until he almost broke his neck. But the way we find quarterbacks is we never draft a good first round quarterback. I'm not saying it can't happen, but honestly, like I said, sometimes you accidentally stumble upon the quarterback of the future. Sometimes you do. Sometimes it's an unorthodox way. You know, sometimes you do find an XFL guy, or you find a Canadian Football League guy like a Jeff Garcia, or an Arena Football League guy like Kurt Warner. You know. So I'm not going to count on Heineke. I'm just not. I can't do it. After what he did in the last couple of games, I can't count him out. I really can't. Oscar Josue Montel, thank you for the donation. He says, what do you think of getting Juju Smith-Schuster? Yes, he is also a free agent as well. I mean, he's a good receiver, man. I know there's some immature stuff that he does, the TikToks, the dancing, and the dancing on teams' logos, and getting embarrassed after the game. I think against the Browns, they showed him in the fourth quarter. He was still dancing, like literally right before the play started. Juju Smith-Schuster was dancing before Ben Roethlisberger snapped the football, and they're down by like 14, 15 points. So is he a culture guy? I think I don't think there's many off the field things going on with Juju Smith-Schuster. I like Juju Smith-Schuster. He does have trouble with dropping the football. I think he dropped a couple passes when we played the Steelers. When we exposed the Steelers, we were the first team to beat them. But I like Juju. You just got to see what the money is. I wouldn't be mad if we signed Juju Smith-Schuster, but there are some red flags. There are some red flags with him, the immaturity, the TikToks. But I think Ron Rivera would be a guy that would definitely to get Juju's head straight and get him focused on football rather than focused on TikToks. I would, we already had a guy. We had a young guy, Dwayne Haskins, who was really big on social media, and a lot of guys are big on social media these days. Is what it is. It's 2020. But if I'm coaching Juju, I would be like, hey, you got to delete your TikTok, delete your Twitter, get off social media, focus on football. I don't want to see any more dancing on logos. I don't want to see none of that. Just focus on football. Get your hands right. And hey, I wouldn't mind signing Juju. We need offensive talent. We just do. And like I said, if you sign Juju, you got to talk to him about TikTok and other things. Now, like I said, it's a red flag. but he would make this team better. He would be a great number 2 wide receiver to help out Terry McLaurin for sure. He would be a great number 2. And that's what I think Juju is. He's a great number 2 receiver. He was a great number 2 receiver with Antonio Brown. And otherwise, I mean, Juju, he's a good receiver, man. He's a good receiver. I can't fake on him. Even though he does some stuff that frustrates you off of the field, I think he would be a great addition to this team. He'd be a great addition to this team. Yeah, big step before. Yeah, Tom Brady was in the 6th round. Like I said, not every great quarterback is going to be a 1st round, 2nd round pick. Sometimes you find guys out of, Taylor Heinicke was doing his finals, man. Sometimes you find guys off the streets that come in and play well, and he's comfortable with Scott Turner. So who knows? Shamar says Juju starts Corvette. Yeah, I know the TikTok thing. That's what he does. That's all Steelers. That's all they care about is doing TikToks. Chase Claypool. He said something silly about the Browns. He said the Browns are going to get blown out the next game. Why would you talk trash when you just got beat on by the Browns? So that's the thing about Juju. There's some red flags. Carlton Cherry Jr. said, "What's your grade on offensive coordinator Scott Turner and why you're not high on him? You don't put enough emphasis on the running game, and you tried to run the ball a lot in the playoff game. You do that early in the season." My grade for Scott Turner was like a C+. We never scored on an opening drive. We were like bottom 5 in every statistical category. But for what he was working with, you got to look at the context too. I'm not the biggest Scott Turner fan either. I'm just not. I'm gonna keep 100. I think you guys know that. But you got to look at the context. He was working with Dwayne Haskins. Kyle Allen had a broken ankle. Then you went to Alex Smith. You went to Taylor Heineke. You play with 4 different quarterbacks. So you got to look at the context. Wide receivers weren't that great. Other than Terry McLaurin, you had Cam Sims and Steven Sims, guys that are iffy with catching the football. Antonio Gibson did miss, 1 or 2 games. We were playing from behind a lot of the games too. So, but Scott, yeah, he just didn't like to run the football. He didn't like to stick with it. And I know the excuse that we were down for most of the games, but yeah, Scott, he gets about a C+. We never scored on an opening drive. Never really had a consistent running game except for against the Cowboys and the Bengals and maybe like 1 or 2 other games we had really good running games. But like I said, our best running games were against the Cowboys, and they were the worst run defense in the league. So the Bengals were a terrible run defense. The Panthers game where Dwayne Haskins threw a couple interceptions, we should have kept running the ball more. We probably would have had a closer game if we could have kept the ball out of Dwayne Haskins' hands and kept running the ball with Gibson. We were averaging like 5 yards a carry in that game. So Scott Turner went away from the run. Anytime we get down by 7 points, Scott Turner really gets away from the run game. So I hope we stay with the run game next year. I think we need another running back. I like Gibson, but I think we need another complimentary running back. I like Peyton Barber, but it wouldn't hurt to bring in another guy. I want to see what Lamar Miller can do if we do bring him back next year. Noah, you're an interesting person. Christian Sordo, he says a 5th Harmon Apke for Watson. You're a funny guy. Nobody wants Troy Apke. You're a funny guy. Nobody wants Troy Apke. Grovetopia fan, thank you for the donation, man. I hear you loud and clear, man. I hear you loud and clear. Enough said, man. I feel you on that one. Thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, somebody banned Noah. We'll see. He said you can't ban me. Yeah, you guys do mods. It's up to you guys what you guys want to do with that one. Big boy diehard fan Walker. Did we resign Sprinkle? They haven't resigned anybody yet, but yeah, I don't want Jeremy Sprinkle. I don't want him at all. Tone Ho says we need to keep Taylor Heineke. I think Tone Ho. Shout out to Tone Ho. Shout out to Tone, man. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Shout out to him. If you want to become a channel member, the link is down below in the description. Shout out to my guy Tone Ho, man. He's been a subscriber for a little while. Jake Willis says, we haven't seen quarterback play like that in a while, so he earned a chance. What is our better option at this point? Yeah, like I said, we got to trade for somebody. We got to trade for our better options are Matt Stafford. You got to trade for him if he's even available. He might not even be available. Dak Prescott might not be available either. Jerry Jones might actually pay him his money. So who knows? Who knows? Tony says we need to get Will Fuller or Chris Godwin. Yeah, one of those two. Chris Godwin's gonna be a lot of money though. He's gonna be a lot of money. He's gonna be a lot of money. So, and he dropped a lot of passes on Saturday, but he's definitely better than anything we have other than Terry McLaurin. He would be a huge Huge upgrade. Huge upgrade over all the other receivers we have on this team. He'd be a huge upgrade for sure. Chris Hunter, he says, would you draft a wide receiver or linebacker first round and look into training for Jordan Love? Love and Heinicke duke it out in training camp. No, I wouldn't trade for Jordan Love, depending on what. No, I wouldn't trade for Jordan Love. He's going to be with the Packers. I don't think he would be available anyway. I don't think the Packers are going to trade him because they want him to replace Aaron Rodgers after, and he was a first-round pick. So they have a plan for him. So I doubt the Packers trade Jordan Love. Linebacker, honestly, if Jalen Waddle's available in the first round, you got to take Jalen over a linebacker for sure. You got to take him over a linebacker. But if Jalen's not available and Trey Lance is not available and the guy from Notre Dame, I forgot his name, the linebacker is available at spot 19, then yeah, you take that linebacker. That's what Ron Vera wants. He wants a linebacker for sure. You got to take that linebacker. Heinicke, duke it out. I think they love Kyle Allen. He's an exclusive restricted free agent. So they're going to keep Kyle Allen. They're going to keep Taylor Heinicke. And then bring in another guy, a more established veteran, or draft a guy and let him develop. Grotopia says we need a lockdown center. Are you talking about the? No, we're good at center. Chase Ruya, he just got another contract. So Chase Ruya, we're good. We're good at center for right now with Chase Ruya. Drew Raddy says, I'm a Giants fan, but Kurt Warner was on the practice squad in 1998, and he won an MVP in 1999. Yeah, I mean, he played in the Arena Football League, man. He was an MVP in the Arena Football League. Like I said, people come out of nowhere, man. People come out of nowhere. You never know. You never know what can happen. 70 Chips says, Scott Turner and Heinicke would be a great combo. I mean, they love each other. They do. They love each other. Scott Turner's the one that wanted Taylor Heinicke to come in. You know, he knew Tyler Heinicke was available, man, taking his finals. And Scott Turner loves the guy, and he makes Scott look good, throwing the ball downfield. That's what Scott wants, man. And he's a mobile quarterback, so that's what Scott wants. I mean, it was night and day. You know, I love Alex, but he was not pushing the ball downfield like that. Once Taylor got in the game, we saw some deep shots, and they weren't just he wasn't throwing the ball in a double coverage. He was throwing guys open. You know, the Cam Sims play on the first drive that should have been a catch. Should have been a first down and more. Every time I thought he was going to check the ball down, he was throwing the ball downfield to Logan Thomas, throwing the ball down to Cam Sims, throwing the ball down to Steve Sims. He was throwing the ball downfield. Connor McHugh, shout out to him. He's a channel member. He says, do you think we should trade Matt Ioannidis because that defensive tackle position is very – No, I wouldn't. I would keep Matt Ioannidis. He's arguably our best defensive tackle, honestly. I mean, there's some games where he's better than John Allen. There's some games where he's been better than Daron Payne. Last year, he was a Pro Bowl alternate, you know, and John Allen, Daron Payne, they haven't been Pro Bowl alternates or anything like that. Yeah, now they've been really good players, but they haven't had any type of Pro Bowl accolades or anything like that. Matt Ioannidis had 8 sacks in 2019? He had 8 sacks, led the team in sacks. I mean, Matt Ioannidis is a beast, and I can't wait to see him come back because he's going to make this defensive line better. He's going to make this defensive line a lot better. He's going to make it so much more better. I mean, so much better than what we are, and that's the scary thing about it, man. That's the scary thing about it, man. The NFC East is going to be – the quarterback's going to be tormented for the next 5 years, hopefully next decade. I can't wait to see it. And, yeah, Eagles fired Doug Peterson. I wish they would have kept him because he was so bad this year, and I think he was going to be bad again next year. But the Eagles are a dumpster fire right now. But they did fire Doug Peterson. I know everybody knows that. Not breaking news, but they are dysfunctional right now. They kind of look like how we did when we had Bruce Allen and Jay Gruden and all those guys. That's how they look right now. That's how they look. But no, I would not trade Matt Ioannidis. I would keep him. Tone Jaw said Bryce Love should be more than ready to go week 1. Yeah, I don't know. I like Bryce Love, but you know we've been waiting on him for a long time. Reuben Foster, we've been waiting on these guys for 2 years now. 2 years. And Bryce Love, yeah, I mean, that's the guy that possibly could complement Antonio Gibson. I like Peyton Barber, but, you know, Bryce Love could probably provide some more explosiveness, some more home run hitting runs, and be that great secondary running back for us. But yeah, it's been a long time. I really want to see Bryce Love. I do want to see him. I want to see Reuben Foster too. Both of those guys, it feels like they've been out. They haven't played in a long time. It feels like they haven't played in 2 years. Toho says, please don't trade away Matt Ioannidis. I would be mad if we trade him away. I wouldn't be happy. I would not be happy either. I wouldn't be happy either. Shamar Doses and Kurt Warner worked in the grocery store too. Yeah, he did. Similar stories. Vital Smith. Yeah, we did. We already talked about Cam Newton. He said, "What do I think? What do you think about Cam Newton possibly landing in Washington?" I would not be a fan of it. Like I said, I like Cam Newton, but I wouldn't be a fan of it. I would not, because like I said, his arm, after the shoulder injury, he has not been the same. He looked very underwhelming with the Patriots. Had a bad year, and he turned the ball over. He was turning the ball over with the Patriots, and he was fumbling the ball. I mean, he just didn't play well. He didn't play well. Bill Belichick's worst season in a long time, 7-9. Sean Garner, he says Heinicke has to be resigned. And Coach Rivera said that whoever comes in a quarterback has to earn the job. Yeah, it's gonna be a competition, man. It's gonna be a competition. He actually said he regretted that it wasn't a competition last year or earlier this year with Dwayne Haskins. He said he regretted it. Kyle Allen, maybe he would have beaten Dwayne Haskins in the competition. Who knows? If they did have a preseason, we actually could have seen, because training camp, we didn't really get to see a lot of guys. We didn't really see any live action, like live real game action. Like Troy Apke was our starter week 1. A lot of things changed throughout the season. So that tells you a lot too. With not having a preseason, you just got to see how guys play under the lights and play in games. And we definitely got to have a competition this year, unless we do trade for a Stafford or sign Dak or get a more established guy. Don't sleep on trading for Marcus Mariota. A lot of people like Marcus Mariota. He's a mobile quarterback. Played pretty well in that Dolphins game where he came in for relief. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, a lot of people don't. I mean, I wouldn't sleep on him either. I mean, what is he, 40 years old? But he still plays well, man. He gets the job done. And if it wasn't for him, if they didn't bench Fitzpatrick, the Dolphins might have made the playoffs, man. Fitzpatrick looked good. He would not be a bad stopgap. Riker Cordova says Taylor Heinicke is a perfect backup. The way how he played against Tampa Bay and almost won, we have to keep him. Like I said, who knows? He could be more than a backup. Who knows, man? Give the guy more of a chance and give him some more weapons. Give him some guys who can catch the football consistently, and who knows? Give him a running game, a more consistent run game, and who knows? I mean, the guy made some veteran plays, man. He made some veteran plays the other day. Like I said, I don't want to be stuck in the moment or lit off the Heineke or drunk off the Heineken, but the guy, he showed some moxie. He showed some competitiveness. Like I said, we haven't seen quarterback play like that in a long time. Like, I know it was one game, but he showed the tools. He showed some tools, man. He showed some his reads, his progressions. I mean, and in college, I know it's college, but he had a game where he threw for 730 yards in one game and 5 touchdowns. The man did some unbelievable things. He won the Walter Payton Award at Old Dominion, which is equivalent to the Heisman. He actually was a punter in college, too. He was actually a punter. The guy is an athlete. He's super athletic, and you saw it, man, the way he ducked and got that first down. I mean, the guy is an athlete. He is an athlete and a half. He's super athletic, and he brings some things to the table that we just haven't seen in Washington this year or for the past 2 years, honestly. He brought some things that we haven't seen in a little while at the quarterback position. He brought some excitement. He kept us in the game against Tampa Bay. The guy played his butt off. I do want to see more, man. I do want to see more. I just wouldn't count him out. A lot of people are just counting him out, honestly, and just saying, oh, he's a backup. I don't know if that's 100% true, man. I don't know if that's 100% true. Got to give the guy a shot. Got to let him compete. Like I said, unless you find a better option than Matt Stafford or Dak or somebody like that, you got to get a guy a shot. Got to give him a shot, man. Alex Core Jr. says Brady proves that you need a high power offense and a good offensive line. Yeah, definitely, man. We need some more receivers. I mean, look at Tom Brady's offense, man. Every receiver that he has is a good receiver. Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, even the tight ends, Gronkowski, Cameron Brate. I mean, every position they have an elite talent. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I mean, the list goes on and on and on for their talent around the board. And then you look at our receivers, it's like, we need a lot of improvement. And a lot of NFL teams don't have that much talent. But, looking at this team, we need a wide receiver badly. We do. We got to help out our defense. We can't keep leaving our defense out there to dry every time. It's not going to be an ugly 16-10 win every game. Sometimes your offense is going to have to win some games for you. Red Wings 01, thank you for the donation. He says, you think we'll keep Landon Collins or trade him and develop Cameron Curl, maybe keep both? Landon Collins is a big dead cap. It's a big dead cap hit. If we do cut Landon Collins, that is an option. If we could trade him, there's another dead cap hit, for trading him as well. But Cameron Curl looked really good. He looked really good. I mean, he was awesome this year. He had 3 interceptions, had an interception return for a touchdown, had 2 sacks. It was like a top 5 in tackles on the team. And when he got in, I mean, the defense got better when he started playing. He was the steal of the draft. He was the steal of the draft. A lot of people were saying Antonio Gandy Golden was going to be the steal of the draft, and no knock on him. But Cameron Curl clearly was the steal of the draft. I mean, he was awesome this year. Made some big-time plays, made some big-time tackles, was great in coverage, was a huge upgrade over Apke, and definitely was an upgrade over Landon Collins, man. I mean, he was good. He was guarding tight ends, guarding receivers. I mean, the guy was doing it all, man. He was a pleasant surprise. He might be the surprise of the year, too. I mean, this guy Cameron Curl, he can hit, he can tackle. He was doing it all. He was doing it all. So I like Cameron Curl a lot. The future's bright with him, too, man. He's definitely going to be – he should be on this team for a long time. He should have a nice long career in DC. You got to keep him here. But to answer your question, I probably would keep Landon Collins for right now and see what he can do, because before he got hurt, his best game was against the Cowboys, and then he ends up getting hurt. He got a sack on Andy Dalton, had a strip sack. Next play he gets hurt. So it looks like he was actually starting to play better and play well. He still is a liability in coverage. So he cannot guard a tight end to save his life. He can't guard a running back to save his life. I mean, he gives up so many chunk plays. It's really bad. And he was missing tackles. So he's supposed to be here for tackling. And Landon Collins was missing tackles. So that's the concerning thing about Landon Collins. But honestly, right now, I wouldn't cut him just yet. I wouldn't cut him just yet, though. But you got to think about it, though. You got to think about it. You do have to think about it. Jeffrey Pittman says, give Tyrod Taylor a shot decent. I'll pass on Tyrod Taylor. I would pass on. He's another game manager. Honestly, I'd rather keep Alex Smith than bringing Tyrod, to be honest with you. Even though Alex Smith is struggling with the calf injury, I mean, it probably will be fine by August, September when the season starts. But I'd rather just stay with Alex Smith rather than Tyrod Taylor. If you're going to do that bridge quarterback, stopgap quarterback, like I said, Tyrod, everywhere he goes, he gets replaced. He gets replaced by Justin Herbert, got replaced by Baker Mayfield, and he's injury prone too. I like him a lot because he's a Virginia Tech guy. He's a solid game manager, solid stopgap quarterback, but I think I'd rather just stay with Kyle Allen or Taylor Heinicke rather than Tyrod Taylor. They could probably do all the same things as Tyrod Taylor. And Kyle Allen wasn't bad when he played. He actually was decent. I don't really see him winning us 10 games, but Kyle Allen's not terrible. He could probably win us like 7 to 8 games, but we want to be better than that, obviously. I'd rather have Heinicke and Allen than Tyrod Taylor, to be honest with you, and draft a young guy like a Trey Lance, if he does fall to us in the first round, if he does. But like I said, I like Tyrod, but no, I would not bring him in. I wouldn't bring him in. Oh, yeah, DeShazier Everett. Somebody mentioned DeShazier. DeShazier Everett was good too, man. He was probably better than Landon Collins too, honestly. He was hitting guys. He made CeeDee Lamb. He scared CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb didn't want any smoke when he saw DeShazier Everett. He had alligator arms, hands like a snake. Every time he saw DeShazier Everett, he heard those footsteps. He did not want to catch the football at all. Leave the spicy manager. No, Tyrod, no more stopgaps. We are ready. That's how I feel too. Like I said, I said it basically all streaming. If we can't get Matt Stafford, if we can't trade for him, if we can't get somebody like a Dak, even though you got to pay Dak a lot of money, if you can't get those two, then honestly, I might as well just stay with Taylor and Kyle Allen and just draft somebody. If you're not able to get those two guys, or maybe Fitzmagic, maybe trade for Marcus Mariota and let those guys just battle it out in camp. And then I think Marcus Mariota, you really only got to give up a 3rd-round pick, in my opinion. Marcus Purnell says, Ed, have you ever thought about if Heineke's playoff game play stats and vigor was Dwayne Haskins? What would everyone be saying about next year and who the starter would be? You said, what if Dwayne Haskins performed like that? What would everybody say about next year and who the starter would be? I mean, if Dwayne Haskins played like that, then yeah, you would keep him. You got to keep him, especially being a 1st-round pick. I would definitely keep Dwayne Haskins for sure. I wish Dwayne would have played like that. I really do. Couple gold maniacs say, listen, y'all, we can't fall in love with one performance. I do believe he deserves a chance to compete for the starting job next season. We have to bring in Cam Newton or Deshaun Watson. If possible, we need a physical WM. Like I said, I'll pass on Cam Newton, and honestly, I don't think Deshaun Watson is a realistic thing. I just don't. I don't think I think it's a pipe dream We all wanted Stephon Diggs. That was a pipe dream. So many guys we wanted to come to DC, and it's been a pipe dream. So unless we're willing to give up 2 first-round picks and a player for Deshaun Watson, then hey, it might happen. But I don't think the Texans are going to let him go. And the Texans interview Eric Bieniemy. So if they get Eric Bieniemy, I highly doubt Deshaun Watson is going to leave if they get Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy would be perfect for Deshaun Watson. He'd be perfect for him in that offense. So I'm just not a believer in the Deshaun Watson hype. I mean, Deshaun Watson's a hell of a quarterback, but I don't believe that he's going to be coming to DC. I just don't. I don't think that's realistic. Like I said, I didn't get caught up in the Stephon Diggs to DC hype. I'm just not getting caught up in it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not doing it. But like you say, I don't want to get caught up in one game. But hey, it was more than just one game. He had a heck of a performance in both games that he played in. Heck of a performance. Heck of a performance. YagDog24 says Taylor was just in bad situations. Houston Texans, Carolina Panthers, Minnesota Vikings. They all had starting quarterbacks. He might have the goods to start in the system. Yeah, I mean, he's perfect in the system. Him and Scott Turner, they have a great relationship. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, he made the offense look like what it's supposed to be. Throwing the ball downfield, didn't have a running game. Defense didn't help him out either. And he was still keeping them in this game. He still kept us in the game. Alfred Baldwin said, can Landon Collins play linebacker? We'll see. I mean, he might be better at linebacker, but it's a tough transition. It's not as easy as people think for him to transition a linebacker. And, we're paying him so much money at the safety position to transition him to linebacker. So it would be an interesting move, but it looks like he probably would. He might be better at linebacker than at safety. But like I said, it's not as easy as you guys think to transition from safety to linebacker. It's not as easy. But he's really bad in coverage. He is. He definitely is a liability in coverage, and he did struggle in tackling last year too. So Landon Collins he might have been the biggest disappointment other than Troy Apke. He just wasn't good. But he started, like I said, right before he got hurt, he played a lot better. He played a lot better right before he got hurt. And shout out to Patrick West. He sent a donation in the Cash App. Shout out to Patrick West. That's my guy. Tsunami Timo, good question. Are we going to pay Brandon Sheriff? We better pay Brandon Sheriff. I mean, he's the first All-Pro since 1996, and the last All-Pro we had was a punter named Matt Turk. I mean, it's been that long since we had an All-Pro player. I mean, that's a long time. So Brandon Sheriff's been really good for us. He deserves the money, in my opinion. How many games did he miss this year? Like 2 games. So he was relatively healthy, and he was huge. He was great in the run blocking scheme for us, run block game for us. He was great in pass blocking for us. So we got to pay Brandon Sheriff, in my opinion. I like him a lot. He was on a franchise tag this past year. I think he deserves the money. He just has to stay healthy. I would pay him. I wouldn't let him walk. I think it would be a travesty to let him walk. And we drafted him. So we got to show other players, that we drafted, that we bring in, that we protect our own guys, that we reward our own players. We just don't let them walk after they have an all-pro season. That'd be crazy. All other teams in the NFL would be pouncing on Brandon Sheriff if he left here. That would be I would not be a happy guy if we let Brandon Sheriff leave, especially offensive lineman. We already let Eric Flowers walk, and Eric Flowers was good for us last year. I wasn't happy when we let Eric Flowers walk. But Wes Schweitzer has played well for us though. Samuel Hatley says Heinicke deserves a shot. He's got swag, man. He's got swag. LC, I got you with the wrench, man. I got you with the wrench. Let me see if I can do that right now, actually, LC. Let me see if I can get you right now with the wrench real quick. But yeah, Heinicke, he's got the swag, man. He's got the swag. He's got something to him, man. He's got the intangibles. Man. He's got stuff that you can't see, but he's got the things that you see. I mean, he's got accuracy, deep ball accuracy, throwing guys open, anticipation throws. I mean, he's done a lot of good things. Luke got sports. He says, what do you think about Chris Olave? I like Chris Olave. I like him a lot, man. I mean, he might be a first-round pick, too. He had a great year with Ohio State. Ohio State receivers are good in the league, man. Terry McLaurin, Michael Thomas. So many good Ohio State receivers. I mean, you can't really go wrong with Ohio State receivers. I mean, for the most part, they're really good. So I wouldn't mind drafting him maybe in the first. He's a small, skinny guy too, but I like him a lot. You might be able to give him in the second round, but he'd probably be a late first round pick or early second round pick. He would be great with Terry McLaurin too. So Chris Olave, that would be a really, really good pickup for us. I would be happy with Chris Olave. Michael Weinstein said the Dustin Hopkins situation is now even more controversial. Yeah, I wouldn't bring him back. I mean, he was awful this year. He was really bad. I mean, he missed a lot of easy kicks. He got a little bit better towards the end of the year, but he definitely cost us some games. He definitely cost us some games for sure. Philip Pascal said Heinicke won the FCS high. Yeah, he won the Walter Payton Award in college. And like I said, he was a punter in college too. He punted the ball too. I mean, the guy is a jack of all trades. He's just an athlete, man. He's an athlete. Sean Gardner said, should we sign a new kicker and let Hopkins walk? And what about Matt Ryan? Yeah, I would definitely let Dustin Hopkins walk. He's got to go. He's got to go. He was awful this year. He was bad. He missed extra points, missed easy kicks. He cost us a lot of games. He cost us about 2 or 3 games for sure. The Giants game, he cost us, missed the extra point. I think both Giants games, he missed kicks. There was like a 4-game stretch where he missed kicks in a row. Just missed every game. We knew he was going to miss a kick. Matt Ryan, I do like. He's a little bit older, but he's pretty good. He's still solid. He's still making plays. He had a good year this year. He did have a good year. I wouldn't be mad at Matt Ryan. I would only give up like a 3rd or 2nd round pick for Matt Ryan though. Big boy, diehard fan Walker. He's a gentleman. Shout out to him. He said, "Hey, keep the Heineken surrounded with beer nuts." Yeah. Hey man, like I said, I might be lit off the Heineke right now. I might be lit off the Heineke for real. Tomo says we need to get loaded for next season and we must be ready. I hope we make the playoffs again. Yeah, we should make the playoffs. I mean, you look at the rest of the NFC East, and I'm not going to get too far ahead. We got a tough schedule. We do have a hard schedule. We got to play the Chiefs this year. We play the Packers. We play the Buccaneers again. We play the AFC West. I think we play the Seahawks again. We got a first place schedule. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be a tough schedule, but I like it. I like it a lot. I think we're gonna have some Monday night football games. I think we're gonna have some Sunday night football games. We're gonna have a lot more nationally televised games. This is gonna be a challenge, but I like it. We're a better team now. We have a better culture. We have a darn good culture. So I'm looking for the challenge. I'm ready for the challenge. And it's a tough schedule. It's a tough first place schedule. But like I said, I'm not gonna predict the record just yet. I'm gonna wait for the schedule to come out. I think the schedule comes out in like March or something like that. Then I'll do my prediction. The schedule. I got to see the moves that we make in the draft and who our quarterback is. That's telling. Whoever our quarterback is. Kevin Guevara says, in my opinion, we are not a quarterback away. We still need to build the roster. And you might be right about that. I mean, we did get exposed on Saturday night. There were some glaring holes. The secondary got cut up. Linebackers got cut up by the run game. We gave up a lot of yards to Leonard Fournette. So it's not just quarterback, but if we do get a quarterback, that would be a huge help. I mean, our defense is a top 10 defense. We did struggle against the run, but I still think we have a top 10 defense. We definitely have a top 5 or maybe arguably the best defensive line in the NFL. And if you just give us a good quarterback, if you just keep these guys off the field and they're fresh and Chase Young can pin his ears back, instead of being down 10-0, instead of being down 17-0, we actually have a competent quarterback. We have a good offense. Look at this defense, man. We had to win games ugly. You look how we beat the Steelers. It was a 17-13 or 20-14. We beat the Steelers like that. We did blow out the Cowboys. But a lot of games were ugly wins. I mean, the Eagles game, even the first game of the year, we had 8 sacks against Carson Wentz. We had to win games ugly. We had to ride the backs of our defense, where our offense just didn't help our defense out a lot. Imagine if we have an offense that can put up at least 25 points. Imagine if we had an offense that could at least score on an opening drive. That would just make things a lot easier for our defense, keeping our guys fresh. So just, think of it that way. Matt Ioannidis did not play he only played, 3 games this year. So we did miss a key piece in Matt Ioannidis too, which I think it'll make this defense even better. So I think our defense is a legitimate defense. I know we're not just a quarterback away. We still need a linebacker. Definitely could use some safety help. We need a wide receiver. And I like the offensive line, but we definitely could sign some more pieces or draft some more guys. Sadiq Charles is coming back, so let's see how he does. Let's see if he can help out this offensive line. Antonio Gandy, Golden, Calvin Harmon are coming back, so let's see where they can help with the wide receiver position. But we got to sign an established wide receiver. We have to. Elsie said, I'd rather have Heinicke start over Cam Newton any day because the upside. Cam is only getting older and more injured. Yeah, that's true. We always get older, washed-up players, and I think Cam, like I said, I don't want to say Cam is washed up, but he's definitely in the later years of his career, and he's not playing like he used to. He's not the same. He's not the same way. Derek Hawkins says that's a reactionary move by Texas organization. The people at the top are not genuine at all. I don't see them. I don't see them trading Deshaun Watson. I don't see that happening, guys. I know we're getting our hopes up. I know we are. I know we're getting our hopes up for Deshaun Watson. But like I said, it's kind of like the Stephon. It's giving me Stephon Diggs vibes. And I know Stephon Diggs eventually did get traded, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Cesar Rodriguez says, if you could choose a receiver for us to sign, would you rather go with A.J. Green or drop the bag on someone like I'd rather get Allen Robinson. You see A.J. Green is getting older, and he didn't have a bad year last year. You know, he just didn't have – after Joe Burrow got hurt, he didn't have great quarterback play. He is coming back from an injury. He did come back from injury last year. He just didn't look like the same guy. I'd rather pay Allen Robinson. Like I said, we have a good amount of cap space. We have the top 5 amount of cap space in the NFL. We're going to have – right now we have $42 million available in cap space, and it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get it's going to get bigger. And I know the cap space is dropping because of the NFL revenue, you know, ticket sales and stuff. You know, the salary cap is going to lower a little bit, but the Washington football team, we are in a great space with cap space. We can definitely add some talent. We can add some veteran talent. We can spend some money on some guys. We don't have to be cheap penny pinchers like we were last year. And last year we still had a good amount of money, but this year, you know, since we showed that we're a playoff team, that we can compete with better teams, I think Ron is definitely going to try to spend some money this year. I think he is. I don't think he's going to do a whole bunch of one-year prove-it deals like he did last year, even though they did work out. I would definitely rather go after Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson was a great wide receiver with, you know, bad quarterback play, with Mitchell Trubisky. You know, Nick Foles in and out of the lineup. You know, Allen Robinson was awesome this year. He's been really good for the past couple of years. I think he's, 28? I got to look at his age, but he can definitely give us about 4 or 5 years of good wide receiver play. So I would definitely go after Allen Robinson. He's definitely top on the list for sure. RedskinsBay, 12th man. Shout out to him. He's an Elite Channel member. He was on my channel last week. This guy is a funny guy. There's never a dull moment with RedskinsBay, 12th man. Shout out to him. He said if he is asking for more than we believe he is worth, just place the second round tender on him and keep building. Are you talking about Heinicke or are you talking about Heinicke? Oh no, you're talking about Brandon Sheriff. I think you're talking about Brandon Sheriff. No, you got to pay Brandon Sheriff, man. You don't get all pro players. They don't grow on trees, especially for the Washington football team. Like I said, the last all pro player we had was 1991 was Matt Turk. He was a punter. So you cannot let that guy walk, especially the guy that we drafted. Can't let him walk. Cannot let that guy walk. Can't let him walk. Especially a lineman, man. Especially a lineman. This offensive line, we don't have room to let guys go. We don't have room to let guys walk. We don't have the wiggle room like that, in my opinion. Red Wings 01, thank you for the donation. He says, will this be Kerrigan's last year in your opinion? I do plan on making a video about that, but yes, I do. I do. Unfortunately, I do think this is Ryan Kerrigan's last year. I do. I think this was his last year. After the game against Tampa Bay, he did go out to the field and he reflected and took some moments. And he said he wants to be a starter. He says he wants to be a starter. So I don't see him being a starter anytime soon on this team. I mean, you got Chase Young on one side, you got Montez Sweat on the other side. So I don't see him being a starter. He believes that he can still start. So I don't think he's going to be here next year. He definitely wants to start, and it's just not going to be excuse me, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But we definitely appreciate Ryan Kerrigan. He should be in the Ring of Fame or the Washington Football Ring of Honor. I don't think his jersey will be retired or anything like that, but he does hold the franchise sack record, and he'll go down in Washington football history. I mean, he's been an Iron Man for this team. This guy has, has led the team in sacks, numerous years. has made big play after big play. I mean, this guy's an Iron Man. He's been a captain of the team. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Ryan Kerrigan, man. I can't say enough great things about Ryan Kerrigan. He's been a stand-up guy for this franchise, man, and we all love Ryan Kerrigan. I mean, he had 5 sacks this year with minimal snaps. Had 5 sacks. Still did a great job. Was huge in the Eagles when he won NFC Defensive Player of the Week against the Eagles. So I mean, Ryan Kerrigan is still a decent, solid pass rusher. There were rumors about him at the trade deadline, but I don't know how true they were, saying that he wanted to be traded. I don't think that was true. But, we probably wouldn't have got at best a 6th-round pick or 7th-round pick for Ryan Kerrigan. If he's willing to take a cheap deal, like a 1-year, $3 million deal or something like that. Right now he had $11.5 million per year. If he's willing to take a lesser deal, a cheap veteran deal, then maybe. But as of right now, he wants to start, and I think it's better for him to leave. I think it's better for him to go somewhere else where he can start. I don't know where else in the league he can start. Maybe he has to wait for somebody to get hurt or something like that. He can start on another team, but I do think that might have been his last year in a Washington uniform. It might have been a very high possibility. But if it was up to me, I would try to keep him. I would definitely try to sign him. But like I said, it has to be a team-friendly deal. Like I said, when you have Chase on one side, Montez Sweat on one side, it's just not a lot of snaps. And his snaps declined with Jack Del Rio this year. They certainly declined. Connor McHugh, thank you for the donation. He says, who do you suggest trading to get a couple of more picks for the draft? We could trade back. I mean, we probably won't get a lot trading number 19 back. I mean, maybe we get a 2nd-round pick and like two 2nd-round picks for the 19th pick. But I mean, Landon Collins is probably the only tradable guy for some picks. You could trade Landon Collins for maybe a 3rd-round pick or a 4th-round pick. His value has gone down because, you look at Landon Collins' contract and the way that he played this past year, especially coming off an Achilles injury, which is a very hard injury to come back from. I mean, we have seen a lot of players come back from the injury, but it looks like he's just gotten even slower. So I don't know how much you would get for Landon, maybe a 4th-round pick or something like that, a 3rd-round pick for Landon Collins. I'm trying to think who else we could really trade. We just don't have a lot of value or a lot of assets. We don't have a lot of trade assets, to be honest with you. We just don't. Matt Ioannidis. Some people said, would you trade Matt Ioannidis? I would not trade Matt Ioannidis. Some people were talking about trading John Allen at the trade deadline, but he played really well, so I wouldn't trade him either. And I know the reason why people bring up trading John Allen is because of the money situation. Tim Settle played well. So maybe one of those guys could be expendable. Maybe you could trade Tim Settle. I wouldn't trade any of these guys, personally. I wouldn't trade anybody on the defensive line. The only person I may be open to trading is Landon Collins, just because of the contract and because he definitely didn't play anywhere near up to the contract. So that's like the only guy that I would think about trading, honestly. But you might not get a lot back for Landon Collins. And the dead cap hit as well. Doug Calshon says Ryan Kerrigan is a potential Hall of Famer. I don't know. He could be. I hope so. Brian Mitchell needs to be in the Hall of Fame too. So, there's some guys that got snubbed. So I don't know. Mulageta Maranatha, thank you for the donation. He says about number 17 from New Orleans as free agent. I gotta look at number 17 from New Orleans from the Saints. Let me see, number 17 from the Saints. Number 17. Let me see who's that. Oh, Emmanuel Sanders. Oh, okay. I like Emmanuel Sanders. How old is he? I gotta look him up too, man. Because I wanted him last year. Is he on a 1-year deal? Let me look that up really, really quickly because I'm gonna head out in a few moments. But that's a good question. That's a good contract. I'm gonna look at his contract really quickly here too. I'm gonna make some free agent videos too, so I'm gonna do some more research on some guys. Emmanuel Sanders, he signed a 2-year deal, so he's locked up with the with the Saints this year and next year, or this past season and next year. He is, how old is Emmanuel Sanders? He is, of course, my phone was actually low, but I know he's like 30 something. He's really good though. I wanted to get him last year. I thought he would have been great with Terry McLaurin. I think he definitely would have made this team better. He's 33 years old. He's played 11 years in the NFL. Former third round pick. He signed a 2-year, $24 million deal. And he played pretty well. He played pretty well last year. I mean, he's still solid, man. I like Emmanuel Sanders, but personally, I'll rather go after Allen Robinson or Kenny Galladay, one of those guys. I'd rather go after one of those guys. I know Will Fuller. He got caught for HGH or steroids or something like that. I do like Will Fuller. He's injury prone though. That's the only thing about him. And there's another wide receiver. I gotta look at the list too, man. But this is a decent free agent class. This is a decent free agent class. Emmanuel Sanders had 61 catches for 726 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's a solid year. I think Curtis Samuel is a free agent too. I gotta look up Curtis Samuel too. Real quick. Let me make sure that he's a free agent because I haven't looked at the class too much. But from Juju Smith-Schuster's a free agent too. So there's a couple guys on the list that are free agents. There's a lot of guys to choose from. But to answer your question, Emmanuel Sanders, he's not a free agent unless he gets released. And Curtis Samuel is a free agent this summer, or this off season. So that's a former Panther there, and Curtis Samuel, he cut us up this year. He cut us up in that Panthers game. And I know he's a former Panther. You know, Ron Rivera loves his former Panthers. So I know Ron Rivera would love to bring in Curtis Samuel. He would love to bring in Curtis Samuel. And you know how Scott Turner loves to do those reverse plays? Curtis Samuel's really good with doing reverse plays. Design runs. So, yeah, Curtis Samuel had 77 catches, 851 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So he would be the perfect number 2 wide receiver to Terry McLaurin. He would be perfect. And he wouldn't be that expensive either. He wouldn't be that expensive. He's not going to be as expensive as Allen Robinson. He's not going to be as expensive as maybe Juju Smith-Schuster or Kenny Galladay, because Kenny Galladay, he's going to win a lot of money. All those guys, they're going to win a lot of money. Kenny Galladay, he's going to win a lot of money. Chris Godwin's going to win a lot of money. Will Fuller's definitely going to want to get paid, but Curtis Samuel would be more affordable than more of the bigger names at the top of the wide receiver list for sure. Will, thank you for the donation, man. I hear you loud and clear, man. Enough said, man. I appreciate you for the donation. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, Leslie Anderson, how much cap space will Washington have? Right now, we have $42 million in cap space right now, and it will get bigger. Like I said, we will release Alex Smith, and that's going to give us about I wrote down how much cap space we're going to have. Oh, if we do cut Alex Smith, we're going to save about $15 million on cap space, but we'll take a $9 million dead cap money hit on Alex Smith. So he would give us $15 million on the cap. So the cap space is going to get, like I said, Ryan Kerrigan is going to be off the books. And who knows? I don't think we're going to bring him back, honestly. So that would give us more cap space with letting Ryan Kerrigan walk and not bringing him back. So we're really good with cap space right now. We're really good with cap space. Steven Montez, think of the donation. He's back again. Steven Montez, man. I know you kind of look like a deer in the headlights on the sideline. You know, when they showed you on the camera, I don't know if you were ready to go in and play. You kind of looked shell-shocked a little bit on the sideline when Heinicke got hurt. But I like you, Montez. Even though you did like that tweet saying Dwayne Haskins is trash, you know, that was a very questionable thing to do. Thank you for the donation, Steven Montez. He said, would love to keep everyone on the D-line, but I'll have to let John Allen and Tim Tuttle go. Give that bag to Deron Payne and Matty Ice because they're elite. Hey, man, I don't know if I could disagree with you on that one. Honestly, I mean, I love Matt Ioannidis if he can stay healthy. Like I said, he led the team in sacks that one year. He's our best pass rusher in the interior. Deron Payne looked great against the Bucs. I mean, he was huge. He had 2 sacks on Tom Brady, and he forced that punch. That punch was huge. That was a huge defensive play. He was one of the few players in that game that stepped up and made big plays. You know, we were missing big plays in that game that we usually see from Chase Young. In the Buccaneers game, we didn't see the Chase Young that we usually see. Montez Sweat did get a sack. Ronald Darby struggled. Kendall Fuller struggled. Our secondary struggled. We couldn't stop the run. But the one guy who was consistently getting pressure was Deron Payne. The one guy consistently making plays was Deron Payne. And he made big sacks in big moments. a big sack in the red zone on Tom Brady that held him to a field goal because we were not stopping the Buccaneers from scoring. I think we only had like what 1 3-and-out in that game, and the big stops in the red zone was because of Daron Payne getting sacks. So you have to keep Daron Payne. John Allen, I love John Allen, but if you had to pick out of those 4 guys, who would you pick at the defensive tackle spot in the interior? The 2 guys I would go with probably is Daron Payne and Matt Ioannidis. I mean, Matt Ioannidis, he's just the best pass rusher we have at the defensive tackle position, and Daron Payne is probably the best pass rusher. Or Tim Settle, actually. Tim Settle had, 5 or 6 sacks. So it is a tough one. Tim Settle can get to the quarterback too. And they're all solid at stopping the run. But yeah, John Allen, I like John, but I wouldn't trade any of them personally. But if you had to make a decision, then yeah, you might want to. I'd probably keep Matt Ioannidis, Matty Ice, and Daron Payne. Out of those 4 guys, those would be the 2 guys I would keep if you had to pick. If you had to pick, but yeah, Steven Montez, keep working on your game, man. Stay ready, okay? Because we're gonna need you on that practice squad next year. We're gonna need you, Steven. Billy Kilmer, Sanders is too old. Yeah, he is too old. Yeah, Doug Peterson, man, so inspirational. You guys are a dumpster fire right now. You guys should have fired Howie Roseman too, but I hope you guys keep him. Please, Eagles, do not draft Devontae Smith if he's available, and do not draft Jamar Chase. Keep drafting guys like Nelson Aguilar. Keep drafting guys like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Keep drafting guys like Jalen Reagor. Keep drafting wide receiver busts over and over and over again. I love it. I keep doing it. Keep doing it. And you might want to draft another quarterback in the second round. You guys should do that again. And Nelson Aguilar, he looks good on the Raiders. So I don't know what it is. Guys leave the Eagles and they play better. But you guys are a dumpster fire right now. You guys look like us with Bruce Allen and Jay Gruden right now. That's what you guys look like. That's what you guys look like. The Eagles have negative. They're $70 million under the cap right now. I know they're going to release a lot of guys like Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, but they're in a really bad situation with cap space. They are in a really, really bad situation. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles hired Bill O'Brien. That's how dysfunctional they are. I wouldn't be surprised if they hired Bill O'Brien. Will, thank you for the donation again. Second donation of the night. I appreciate you, man. Enough said, man. Like I said, enough said, man. Will, your question, he says, adding a hell of a receiver in free agency, including Curtis Samuel, because he's interested in draft the best middle linebacker available. Collins from Tulsa should be available. Yeah, man. Hey, we definitely should get a linebacker for sure in the draft, or even sign a linebacker. But Curtis Samuel, like I said, if we don't get Allen Robinson, if we don't get Kenny Galladay, I would be happy with Curtis Samuel because he has a lot of potential. Like I said, he's another guy that played with Scott Turner or played under Scott Turner, another guy that played under Ron Rivera. We saw Curtis Samuel. He cut us up, man. He cut us up. He was killing us in that Panthers game a couple of weeks ago. He did a reverse play. He's versatile. He's not a gadget player, but we can use him all around the field. Scott Turner, he loves those versatile wide receivers that can do reverses and screens and all kinds of things. Breaks tackles. He's a huge yards after the catch kind of guy. He's the perfect number 2. He would be a great number 2 because Allen Robinson is a number 1 wide receiver. Curtis Samuel's a number 2. So Terry and Curtis, that would be a nasty duo. That would be a top 10 wide receiver duo in the league for sure. If we get Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin, that's a top 2 wide receiver. That's a top 10, at least top 10 wide receiver duo in the NFL. Joseph Tracy says Kenny Galladay is going to get tagged. I don't know. I don't know about that. They might let him go. He shot out the rest of the season, and I don't think he's injury prone. I think what Kenny Galladay really did, I think when he saw that the season was terrible, he was like, "There's no point in me coming back." That's what I think about him. But Guzman, Chris Godwin is a free agent as well. Yeah, he's going to be a lot of money. But like we do have the cap space. Cap space is not a problem for the Washington football team this offseason. So. It's really not a problem. We can spend some money on some free agents. We definitely can. Let's see here. Okay, I might have missed some donations because it just went. The chat just went through pretty quickly here. Juan Gotti says, honestly, wouldn't be surprised if we don't sign John Allen. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a decision made. There's got to be a financial decision made. Like I said, in next off season, there's got to be. You look at the 49ers, man. They had so much talent on that D line, but they had to trade away one of their guys. They got a first round pick in return. I don't know what we can get for John Allen in return, but you look at the contracts, you look at the money. You got to pay Montez in a few years. You got to pay Chase in a few years. You got to pay. We already paid Matt Ioannidis. You got to pay Deron Payne. So somebody's going to be the odd man out. And like I said, if we do, everybody wants Deshaun Watson. So if you get one of those guys, you're gonna have to pay Deshaun a whole bunch of money. So you're not going to be able to keep that front. That rotation of Tim Settle, that rotation of Deron Payne, that rotation, you're not going to be able to pay all those guys. That's the unfortunate thing. You look at, like you said, you look at what happened with the 49ers. They had to trade away one of the guys, and they ended up keeping Nick Bosa and some other guys. But that's what's going to happen. But I hope we can. I would love to keep John Allen. I would like to keep all of them. I would love to keep Matt Ioannidis. I mean, we already have Matt Ioannidis locked up. But I would love to keep all of them, but it's just not how it works all the time. AM Hunter, shout out to him. He has the best profile picture out there, man. Shout out to him. He is a channel member. You already know. Bring the brooms out on the Cowgirls. We swept them. Swept the Eagles as well. You already know what it is. True One said, I told you that Taylor got that GO in him. Yeah, man. Hey, a lot of people. It was so funny, man. I was debating. And, Pedro is my guy. Shout out to Pedro Smith, but he was a big Alex Smith should start this game. And I was like, no way should Alex Smith start this game. Did you see this man's leg? Did you see Alex Smith in the second half versus the Eagles? He was awful. He was terrible in the Eagles game. I was so happy when they announced that we started Taylor Heinicke. I was so happy that they did that. And a lot of people were like, oh, you don't want to start a backup quarterback in a playoff game this magnitude against Tom Brady. Everybody, thought Taylor was going to throw up on himself, throw a few interceptions, and turn the ball over. And I was like, you know what? I wasn't thinking that Taylor was going to play that well, but I was like, Taylor's not going to be that bad. He'll probably be like Kyle Allen. He might throw a touchdown, throw a pick, which he did, and, keep us in a ball game. We're still going to lose, but, Taylor exceeded expectations for me. He basically did the same thing that he did in the Panthers game, where he evaded the pocket and threw a deep ball to J.D. McKissick. He made similar plays like that. He made moves in the pocket, did the little boxing move, ducked his head, and made the guy fly over his head and ran for a first down. There was a phantom holding call, Brandon Sheriff, where he ran for another first down. That was a terrible ref call right there. So Taylor Heinicke played his butt off. Like I said, he had the highest Pro Football Focus grade since for the last 14 years for a Washington football quarterback. He made this offense look like a totally different offense. I love Alex Smith. Every time, like I said, I saw Gibson in the screen, and I would be like, okay, Taylor Heinicke's going to check it down and enter. He's going to check it down to J.D. because he's wide open in the flats. Next thing you know, you see the camera move like 5 feet. The camera moves all the way down the field. You see Cam Sims wide open down the field. He's throwing the ball. Cam Sims can't even catch it. But he throws the ball down, and Logan Thomas gets him open, man. So Taylor, he was throwing guys open, man. That's what I like. The Steven Sims catch for the touchdown where they zoom on Tom Brady. He's like, unbelievable. Tom Brady couldn't even believe the pass. It was crazy. And then Tom Brady tried to not even shake. He tried to shade Taylor Heinicke after the game, where Taylor Heinicke had to run up to Tom Brady and tap him on the back. Tom Brady knew what he was doing, man. Tom, I ain't no fool. Tom Brady was not trying to really, dap up Taylor Heinicke. He knew what he was doing after the game. That's just how Tom Brady is, though. Somebody said Corey Davis is available. Yeah, he's available too. He would be a good number 2 option too. I like Corey Davis too. And once again, like I already said, man, like I already said about Heinicke. Shout out to Reggie Reyes. He said, "Hey, my brother." Like I already said about Taylor Heinicke, honestly, some quarterbacks, they're not always going to be a first-round pick. They're not always going to be a second-round pick. Like I said, you look at Jeff Garcia. He played in the Canadian Football League. He didn't really play in the NFL or start making big plays until he was 27, 29 years old. He made the Pro Bowl 4 times. Kurt Warner played in the Arena Football League. Tony Romo undrafted. Tom Brady 6th-round pick. Sometimes you accidentally find your guy. Sometimes you can find your guy in an unorthodox way. Every time we have a first-round pick, look how our first-round picks turn out. Dwayne Haskins, Heath Schuler, Patrick Ramsey, Jason Campbell. Sometimes you find a guy in a weird way. Sometimes you find your quarterback in a weird way. Maybe it could be Heinicke. Like I said, everybody keeps dismissing Heinicke. Who knows? He showed the toughness. He made plays that not a lot of quarterbacks can make. Not a lot of quarterbacks can make, man. I'm telling you, he made some big plays, man. If it were not for him, we might have gotten blown out. If it wasn't for him, we might have got blown out. And let's keep it real. Martin Matthews, thank you for the donation. He said, "Hey Ed, first time on your show. I like John Ross for a veteran. We will pick up a speedster in the draft. Harmon's coming back. A few wide receivers are getting cut, traded, or practice squad. Who do you think they will be?" Yeah, I will make a video on that as well, definitely. But that's an awesome question for your first time being on here. Thank you for the donation once again. The wide receiver room is crowded. It's not a lot of talent, but it is crowded, and we gotta get some guys up out of here. We got to get some guys up out of here to keep it real. And I love Steven Sims, but he might have been the biggest disappointment, man. He might have been. I know Troy Apke was probably the biggest disappointment for the way they hyped him up in the off season. But what's his name? Steven Sims was pretty bad. He couldn't catch a punt, couldn't field the punt, could barely catch the ball. He was bad, and he had a lot of potential, but he's got to go. I would probably release him. I might keep him in training camp, as a camp body, maybe like a Brian Quick. He's way better than Brian Quick. He just had so much potential. It was just really disappointing from Steve Sims. He really disappointed me. Had to drink some of the secret stuff. But Antonio Gandy, golden 4th round pick. He was hurt. He was on injury reserve, and I don't know what's going to happen with him next year. He just needs some more time. We just don't have the time to wait. We need an established receiver. We need a free agent that can come in here and catch the football. We need more established talent. We can't do any more of these Cody Latimire's. We can't do these Dontrell Inmans of the world. We tried to get Amari Cooper, but he wanted to stay with Dallas, and now look how's that going. We swept Amari Cooper this year. So, if Amari Cooper would have came, but I understand because, he looked at the quarterback situation here and, he was like, okay, I'm going to just stay with Dak. So it is what it is. But honestly, Calvin Harmon coming back should help. Cam Sims, he's on the cusp. I like Cam Sims. He has a lot of talent, but his hands are 50-50. He'll catch a tough he'll catch a tough pass. Next thing you know, he drops an easy pass. We just don't have time for that. And we need a guy who we know is going to come in here and catch the tough throws. Is going to make some big plays after the catch. Like a Kenny Galladay, like an Allen Robinson, maybe like a Curtis Samuel, one of those guys. So we definitely have to upgrade at the wide receiver position. Watching that game against the Buccaneers, Taylor Heinicke might have had 400 yards passing if it wasn't for some of the drops. He had 300 yards passing. That Cam Sims, that drop was, what was it, like a 30-yard throw? Steven Sims, Isaiah Wright dropped like a 25-yard catch that could have been a first down. That was a hell of a throw by Taylor Heinicke. That was like the Steve Sims throw where he threw it over to the sideline and just Isaiah Wright threw it and just couldn't catch. Like Isaiah Wright, come on, man. And I like Isaiah Wright, but if you're dropping passes left and right, we just don't have time for that right now. And I think we definitely need to establish a veteran. But to talk about John Ross, I do like John Ross. The only thing is that he is injury prone. I don't want to call him injury prone, but he has been. He has been injury prone. And Shamar said I'm drinking liquor. John Ross has been injury prone, but he's fast, man. And honestly, he should be cheap. He should be cheap because what has he consistently done in the league? So John Ross should be cheap. He should be a 1-year deal, maybe like $5 million or something like that. So John Ross should be on a cheap deal, in my opinion. You can never have enough speed. We need some speedy guys. We need some more speed on this team, and we need some more guys that can catch the football. But John Ross wouldn't be a bad pickup, but he would be a guy that I would pick up like later in free agency. I wouldn't immediately go after him. Like I said, if you don't get Kenny Galladay, if you don't get Allen Robinson, if you don't get Chris Godwin, if you don't get Juju Smith-Schuster, immediately sign Curtis Samuel, former Panther. He would be a perfect fit with Terry McLaurin. And then, hey, maybe you do sign John Ross and just cut Steven Sims and keep Cam Sims as like the 4th option. And then you bring back Calvin Harmon. So in a perfect world, my wide receiver room would be Terry. Like I said, if you don't get Allen, then get Curtis Samuel. Calvin Harmon would be wide receiver number 3. sign John Ross to a cheap deal. So you got 4 legitimate wide receivers right there. That would be a huge upgrade than what we have this year. And then maybe you draft a speedster like you said in the draft. I gotta look at the wide receiver class. I'm gonna do some more some more studying on the wide receivers this year. There's definitely some speedsters. Some people are saying Chris Olave, but he's gonna go really high in the draft. So you gotta get him either in the first or second round if you're gonna get Chris Olave. But like I said, perfect world would be Terry. If you don't get Allen, Curtis Samuel, and then Kelvin Harmon comes back, and maybe you sign John Ross as that 4th guy, or Cam Sims can be that 4th guy. I don't want Cam Sims to be a number 2 or number 3. Cam Sims needs to be the 4th wide receiver on your roster. Excuse me. Guzman, Chris said Jamison Crowder. He's still a baller. I like him too. You got to trade for Jamison Crowder though. You got to trade for him. Jordan Villarreal said, "Hey Ed, I think we should invest in the offensive line in the first round and give Heinicke or a mid-round quarterback pick a shot." I like that move too, but honestly, I don't think our offensive line is as bad as people think. I think we definitely could use some upgrades, but Morgan Moses, who has the pancakes named after him from IHOP, he was excellent. So right tackle is solid to me. Right guard, we had an All-Pro and Bandit Scherf, so that's solid. Chase Roullier got a second contract; he's been solid. So the center position is solid to me. Left guard Wes Schweitzer was good. He was way better than Wes Martin. He was a pleasant surprise on a cheap deal, so I like him. Cornelius Lucas was pretty good at the left tackle position. I think that's probably the only position where you really look at it and you're like, okay, we definitely could be better there. Because like I said, Morgan Moses with the pancakes is definitely our for sure starter. Brandon Scherf is all pro. Chase Roullier is for sure a starter. Wes Schweitzer is for sure starter. And we still have Sadiq Charles, who was a 4th round pick with a lot of potential. So, we got some guys on injury reserve that, let's see what they got. Some rookies, some young guys like Sadiq Charles. Let's see what he can do next year. But drafting an offensive lineman, I know Alex Leatherwood from Alabama. I don't know if he's going to drop to 19. Maybe he could. I don't know if he is. Penei Sewell is his top 5 pick, so we're not getting him. But I got to look at some of the other left tackles in the draft for sure to pick a first round lineman. So we'll take a look at that. But like I said, the whole right side and the center position are 100% good to me. I wouldn't draft that side in my opinion. But of course, you can never have enough depth. Jaron Christian, I don't know if we're going to bring him back. But he was okay. He was okay at left tackle. But you definitely got to upgrade from Jaron Christian. I will definitely say that for sure. But offensive line, in my opinion, I think we need a wide receiver. I think we need to upgrade a wide receiver more than offensive line because offensive line did way better than the wide receivers not named Terry McLaurin, in my opinion. A.M. Hunter, thank you for the donation with the best profile picture out there. He says, keep prospering, homie. Shout out to A.M. Hunter. That's my guy. Sean Gardner said Fitzmagic to DC. I would not be mad at that. I like Fitzpatrick. Like, I know he's older. I know he's, 38 years old, but he looks good, man. He looks good. And he was leading the Dolphins to the playoffs. He was leading the Dolphins to the playoffs, man. Fitzmagic, man. I'll look at his stats real quick because I like Fitzmagic. I do. I like Fitzpatrick. I do. I like him a lot, honestly. I know sometimes he can be a turnover machine, but Fitzpatrick, he's all right. He's not bad. 13 touchdowns, 8 picks. It was okay. He was okay. Like, if you watch that Raiders game where he came in and he had the face mask and still throw a first down. I mean, I like Fitzmagic. I do. Dan Prescott said we hired Dan Quinn as defensive coordinator. Yes, he choked a 20. Yeah, he did. He did choke a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. But when was the last time my team? You're a funny guy, Dak. You're a funny guy, Dak. Hey, you need to get out of Dallas, man. I'm telling you. I've seen the tweets from your brother, Tad Prescott. Even your brother doesn't want you to be in Dallas. Don't let them Kirk Cousins you, man. Don't let Jerry Jones Kirk Cousins you like that, man. He's gonna keep franchise tagging you, not giving you money, man. Somebody else is gonna give you that money, man. I'm telling you. John Freeman said, I'm not sold on Heinicke yet. Keep him and let him compete and drive a quarterback. I've been watching the upcoming quarterback film and Mac Jones really stands out. Yeah, he looked good, man. I mean, he looked good in the national championship game. I mean, he threw 5 touchdowns last night. you see the picture where he had the cigar in his mouth and he looked like he had a beer belly. He had a beer belly. Only thing is he's not mobile. He's not really athletic. I mean, and then he's threw what 41 touchdowns, 4 picks. So I mean, Mac Jones is good though. He's more of a second round talent, a third round talent, in my opinion. Maybe he might go into the first round after the performance last night. I mean, we have Devontae Smith at receiver. You have Jalen Waddle at receiver. Who else do they have at receiver? They have some other guys that are really, really good. So it's kind of like how good really is he? Because you had so much talent at wide receiver, and then you have Najee Harris at running back. So I mean, he has so much talent around him. So much talent around him. Yeah, we do. We still do have Robert Foster, aka Robert Faster, on the roster. That is true. So he is something to think about, Robert Foster, aka Robert Faster. Dr. Sketch, yeah, I did hear about that. I did hear about that. And Torrey Smith, the former wide receiver for the Ravens and the former wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers, said he did have a conversation with Taylor Heinicke about that. So I don't know what was really said, but he said that they had a positive conversation. And a lot throughout this year in the off season. Ron Rivera had a meeting about social justice and a lot of things that went on in America this year. So I know Taylor Heinicke, he's going to talk to a lot of his teammates about things off the field, and he'll learn from his mistakes and things that he's tweeted. But like I said, I try to keep politics away from the channel. I try not to talk about that stuff at all. But I did see that. And like I said, he has deleted those tweets. I think he deleted his whole Twitter, which is a good thing. Just stay off Twitter and focus on football. But I did see those tweets. I did hear about that. I did see that. Reggie Red said we need a big name wide receiver. All these sorry dudes got to go. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like I said, I'm not always trying to get a big name guy, but for sure, we need somebody who's established in this league, who's been there, done that. We need somebody who's been there, done that, and has done something in this league. We need established talent. We need somebody that's reliable. No more. No knock on the undrafted free agent wide receivers like Isaiah Wright and Dontrell Inman and guys like that. But yeah, we need some more established talent. And I like Antonio Gandy Golden, but we need some established talent. All right, here's the last one. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Thank you for the donation, William Lee. He says we need a number 1 wide receiver. Terry is a number 2. Posen is a number 1 because the rest of the wide receivers are number 3s and number 4s. Yeah, I have heard some people say that Terry McLaurin is a number 2 wide receiver. I think it was Chris Cooley, but in my opinion, I think Terry McLaurin is a number 1 wide receiver. I think he's number 1 wide receiver for sure. I think he is. I just think that he needs some help. I mean, he had 1,000 yards on the year, had like 80-something catches. The guy has great hands. I mean, he can make plays after the catch. He's definitely a captain of the team. And he has great footwork, great routes. I mean, I can't say any negative things about Terry McLaurin. He has great hands. I mean, he does everything that you want to see. I mean, even as a rookie, he almost had 1,000 yards as a rookie. So I think he's a number 1 in my opinion. I think he can be a number 1 in my opinion. And he's done it with bad quarterback play. He hasn't had a quarterback that has played more than 8 games in a row. I mean, even with Case Keenum played like 8 games and he got benched, or 9 games. So Terry McLaurin has had a consistent quarterback. Let's look at Terry McLaurin's quarterbacks: Case Keenum, Dwayne Haskins, Taylor Heinicke, Kyle Allen, Alex Smith. So many quarterbacks. I mean, it's crazy how many quarterbacks he had to play with. Imagine if he played with Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Pat Mahomes. Terry McLaurin would probably be putting up video game numbers right now. So I do think he's number 1. You got to look at the context and look at the quarterbacks that he's played with, and the offense that he's had to play with. I mean, he's been put in a rough situation, man. Being a 3rd round pick, I think he's a number 1 wide receiver in my opinion. But yeah, the rest of you're spot on with the rest of the wide receivers are number 3s and number 4s. I think Cam Sims at best is a number 3. And Jose Sorto, you say he had 1,000 yards. I don't think Terry had 1,000 yards as a rookie. He was close. Yeah, Zion. He had 919 yards, so he was close, but he didn't get it because he got hurt. He missed the Giants game with a hamstring, and he missed the he missed the Dallas game, so that hurt him with getting 1,000 yards. He missed a game this year. He missed the Panthers game, right, or the Seahawks game. I can't remember which game he missed, but he missed one of those games and still got 1,000 yards. So Terry McLaurin has been a beast, man. I can't say anything negative about Terry. And but you're spot on about the rest of the wide receivers. They're number 3s and number 4s. Maybe on some teams they're number 5 receivers. To be honest with you, I mean, Steve Sims, he played like a number 5 receiver in my opinion this year. Cam Sims, Isaiah Wright had to play like a number. Isaiah Wright was our number 3 wide receiver at times. Dontrell Inman, I mean, it was just. I can't wait till we sign an established wide receiver. It was that bad. I can't wait. But with that, guys, I thank you guys for checking out the stream tonight. I do have some videos coming out this week and next week some off-season videos. But I won't be streaming again until about February or like late February. There's some important dates. If you did not know, free agency in the NFL, it starts March 17th. So it's really not that far away. It's January 12th. So NFL free agency starts March 17th. That is a big day for Washington football. When we can start signing free agents. It's gonna be a huge day. So I can't wait for free agency. But I won't be doing live streams until, like I said, late February or early March. But once again, thank you guys for checking out the channel, man. It's been a fun year, been an up and down year. Made the playoffs. We got a long way to go, man. We got a lot. We look like the best team in the NFC East right now. We definitely have the best coach in the NFC East. The Eagles are probably gonna sign or hire Bill O'Brien and Mike McCarthy. He looks like a terrible coach. And the Giants with Joe Judge, they have a decent coach. But right now, we look like we have the best future out of all the NFC East teams right now. So the sky is the limit with the Washington football team. We have a top 10 defense. We just have to shore up this offense. We need another wide receiver and a quarterback really badly. Mark Matthews, thank you for the donation once again. He said, "Hey, Ed, I'm not sure, but I don't think that Cornelius Lucas ever got pushed back. Left guard was okay, but we can still upgrade that position. We need linebackers and a true free safety." Yeah, that's true. Cornelius Lucas was good. I mean, if you look at his Pro Football Focus grades, he was really good. Didn't allow a lot of sacks, didn't allow a lot of pressures. When you don't hear his name a lot, that's a good thing. When you hear offensive lineman's name all the time, that's a bad thing. So I like what I saw from Cornelius Lucas, especially with him being on a team-friendly cheap deal for 2 years, or I think he's on a 3-year cheap deal. He played really, really well. He played like a boss this year. So I like what I saw from here. Wes Schweitzer was good too. Like I think he was better than okay. I thought he was good. I thought he was solid. I thought he played really, really well. Brandon Sheriff was awesome, all pro. Morgan Moses was great with the pancakes, and Chase Reed was great. Definitely can upgrade at linebacker. John Balsick is okay. He's a good veteran, but we definitely need better play from him. And it's just better linebacker play in general. I do like Cole Holcomb. I do like Kevin Pierre-Louis. He's a free agent. I think we should re-sign him. And a true free safety, yes, you're 100% right about that. Cameron Curl did outplay Landon Collins, but we do need a free safety. I like DeShazer Everett, but he's known more to be a strong safety. We do need a free safety. Troy Apke was awful. And we do need a better free safety. We do. But all right, you guys, hail to the football team. Have a great night, man. Peace.